Hola, Cheska here. I'm going to show you how I made this Christmas card holder. If you like the Christmas tree next to the Christmas card holder, please check out my DIY wood Christmas tree video. To start, you're going to need 2 yards of this burlap ribbon tape. There's no adhesive on the back if you're wondering. And at Dollar Tree, I got this garland, Bed Bath & Beyond, and I got scented pine cones, but you can really use anything you want, like ornaments in the middle, some clips. These are like clothesline clips. And you don't need this many, but about 10 would do. A scrap piece of fabric or a scrap piece of cardboard, whichever you want. Mine measured out to about 6.5 by 6.5 inches. 1 to 3 command hooks that can hold about 3 pounds each. I got this ribbon at Costco, so you're going to need ribbon of your choice. You only need about a half a yard, so 18 inches. But I got this last year. I used it. And can you believe I still have this much left over? So it's a really good value. And a hot glue gun and glue sticks. If your tape is wrinkled like mine, you might want to throw a piece of cotton over it. What I did was throw a piece of cotton over it, soaked it with water, I gave it a really good spray, and then had my iron at a high heat and pressed it. So what happens is that the cotton is able to absorb the heat much better than other fibers. And since the cotton is soaked, it creates a steam which will allow the wrinkles to come out of the burlap. Moving on to the wreath, you want to undo any ties that may be on the garland, and then from one end I wrapped it around itself, creating like a little lasso, just a little circle. That's my center circle that I'm going to be working around, and it just secures itself because it's a wire in the garland. And then what you're going to do is just go in a circle around the smallest circle. However, if you just lay it flat going in a circle, it will create a bigger circle, and so I want a little bit of volume. So what I'm going to do is kind of stack them on top and go around and expand. Once you reach the opposite end, you're going to grab that tail, tuck it under, and wrap it around itself. You can start fluffing it out, but just so you know, if you lift it up, it won't be attached to each other, so it will pull apart. Mine came out to about 11 inches in diameter. Moving on to the backing, this is just a scrap piece of fabric that I had, and I folded it into 6.5 by 6.5 inches. Again, you can use a cardboard in the same size. It's whatever you have lying around. Also, don't forget to glue, if you are folding like I did, to glue your layers together. Now you actually want to glue the wreath onto this scrap fabric or cardboard, and it just went in a circle and kind of leaving the center open. Not that that was necessary, but I just knew there was no garland there for me to glue down, and went as close to the edge as I wanted, and then just press down. Be careful not to burn your hands. So you might find that there's a few loops that are too loose, and what you want to do is just go through and glue them on top of each other. This is where the stacking does come in handy. I just put some hot glue on the stem, and then the next loop I just pressed it into itself, kind of offsetting it but slightly on top where it catches the glue. And a good tip is I use my scissors to actually press in at this point because the hot glue might seep through like the little grass stuff and I don't want to burn my fingers. So I just apply the glue, lay down the garland, and then press with the scissors, and I don't have to burn my fingers. Now for the decorations, I did use that half yard of ribbon and the scented pine cones, but again, you can really use whatever you wanted. Last year, the one I made, I used way more ribbon, a smaller garland, and less pine cones, but it's really up to your style choice. This is, again, my videos are to inspire you and just give you ideas so that you can make it happen for you and your family. So what I did was folded the half yard and kind of spread it out, and then glued on the fabric, like the backing fabric. I glued on the backing fabric so it's more stable and secure there. If your ribbon isn't allowing the glue to seep through when you press it in, just simply lift it up and glue again and press down. Then I wanted to just kind of dry fit my pine cone to see where they would end up being, and I believe I only used 7 on this one, which did make it heavier. Last year I only used 1 or 2, but I ended up just arranging them. And then if your pine cones, if you are using pine cones and they have that little tail that's getting in the way, go ahead and cut that off. Just slap on a ton of glue and press them down and let them hold. It'll catch on something. So cutting the ribbon, I just fold it in half. You're really just cutting at a slant. You can choose to seal it. Last year's I didn't seal and it's holding up just fine, but if you feel like your ribbon might fray, then go ahead and lightly burn it with like a match or a lighter, and that will seal it so that it won't unravel. So now laying on that burlap tape, you definitely want to make sure you stand up and look at it on a wall or just in the air. Make sure it's lined up correctly, because this backing fabric that I have is no longer a good reference. And that's because when I did my wreath and then I chose like the uglier side to cover up with the ribbon, it turned that square. So when you're going to glue on your burlap tape, you want to hold it up and make sure it's coming out directly from underneath the ribbon. My camera turned off, so I don't have me completely gluing it down, but I did throw generous glue on the back of this and just glued it all the way down, including into the reef part. For the clothespins, I like to throw them on like every other side, so one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, going down in a zigzag pattern. And this allows you to really just throw the cards on or just randomly, and they don't have to be perfectly straight. It adds texture to this project. So once you have your clothesline clips just sitting on the burlap tape, you're going to want to know how to adhere it to the wall. If you have a nail or a hook in the wall that you're just going to hang it on, then you just throw it through like one of the loops on the garland and the grass will cover it up. But if you don't, and like myself, I have it just randomly on the wall, I put 2 strips of command hooks, and you want to put it on the center and kind of with the tab facing out so that you can lift the garland part and find the tab to pull out, so it'll pull out easy. And if you are doing a smaller wreath like I did last year, I only used one in the center. But if you have a heavier one like I did this year, then I would consider putting 2. Now, if you're giving this as like a gift, then you might consider giving them 1 extra tab so that they can cut it like I did. And what I did was I cut the command hook and then I just put it on the burlap tape so that it was flush to the tape. And I also did this because my daughter, if she sees something swaying, she's going to want to play with it. So it was to just kind of minimize the temptation of playing with something while it will sit more flush to the wall. But you do have to leave room so that those clips can go behind the tape. If you're considering making this for someone and you want to know how to wrap it so it looks nice, I just rolled the tape on itself with the clothesline clips on the tape, then use one of the clothesline clips to hold it to the garland and hold the tape together. I also have the command hooks on one of those clotheslines, and there you go. It's a really cute gift that is not only like a nice decoration, but something that they can use and they would enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumb it, sub it, speak it, and spread it. Hit that notification button. Merry Christmas. God bless.